Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're going to be up bright and early, long drive. So
Get ready
Yeah,
for
especially for you guys. Yeah.
yeah.
Awesome.
And you might have seen we've been taking the Chief swimming.
I have
it's
seen
so
that
much
actually.
fun to
Yeah.
go on a road trip with him. We put him in his little travel case, and we don't drive far, but it's so great to be in a big, clear pond where you can really see him. We dreamed about doing this for years while we were doing all that rehab with him, and now it's a reality.
That's fantastic. You know what might be really interesting, and I know Anthony was part of doing this with a wild one, might be fun to strap a GoPro to his back. One of these times you put him in and just grab some like first person footage of a day in the life of Chief.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. It's like footage from like Jaws, when shark point of view.
Right. We got some great video and some great stills from that too. It's what you expect. You're like, well, what does a snapping turtle do when we don't watch him? Well, pretty much exactly what you'd expect. Yeah, there's swimming around with fish and everything, and then hanging out in the mud.
And they're pretty vocal. Apparently, they've been recorded.
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, the study was done with the what's his name? That they recorded all the turtles were recorded using sound. It was published in Nature magazine. But the snapping turtles, I guess, are one of the more talkative ones, is what I heard.
Interesting.
That's interesting. I've had a whole bunch of them. I've never heard it.
We can hear, but
right. It must be sounds we can't hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, our friend Jake Stout has been scuba diving and snorkeling with turtles, and he's seen snappers do some wild stuff. He's filmed them mating. He's also filmed them eating dead beavers. Multiple snappers eating off the same carcass. Now, personally, I would not be that eager to dive into a pond knowing there was a dead beaver down there, but he was, and no one knew that they ate dead beavers.
Well,
that's awesome. Interesting.
Yeah,
that reminds me a little bit. There, some of the, I think Pelusios or Pelamedusa, one of those African like turtles. They've actually recorded footage of them almost hunting in packs to take down bigger prey and share it. Then that kind of reminds me of, just sometimes turtles do kind of collaboratively enjoy a meal without fighting over it as much.
Yeah.
My Chinese box turtles would like to collaboratively enjoy eating me, I think, for sure.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, that's a big meal.
I know.
Not for a Chinese box turtle.
Yeah.
Not for a Flavo.
They go after it.
They're voracious.
I have a friend who has almost 100 of them.
Yeah. Turtles, though.
They could eat a human.
Yeah. Oh, no doubt. I mean, one of their common names is the snake eating turtle, right? So if they'll take down a snake, what won't they take down?
Wow.
Yeah. Well, speaking of snakes, we saw some good snakes today. Some water snakes. There's a couple that sun themselves at this spot where we walk, and you see them all the time. And there was a ribbon snake there today too.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. The big snake, though, the fact that there's now a big snake and you don't see the small snakes, one kind of wonders.
Well, yeah, pretty good.
It's a good point.
People joining in.
Oh, yeah. Oh, hello, everybody.
Yeah, we can see it.
Yeah, we've got a bunch popping in here. I'm going to take a moment. Let's roll this in, and then we'll dig into your new book and your other upcoming adventures.
Yeah,
let's do it.
Welcome to the Pondcast, the turtle room show, where the hearts are cold and knowledge flows. Turtles, tortoises, and conservation too. Stories of the wild brought right to you. Research, rescue, education galore. Saving wildlife is what we're here for. With Hot Bunny, Steve, and Emily. It's turtles, it's tortoises, and all things herpetology. Pondcast,
I still can't get over the fact that, like, you, Emily, there's pictures of you doing things like when you're dry and like indoor, and all the shots of me are in the rain with wood turtles measuring them.
Well, when we say herpetology, we're like, all right, well, there's actually a project in the wild. That's Steve.
Yep. Yep, that's right.
I love it.
It's a
It's
great
very
intro.
catchy. We were dancing and bopping.
Yeah. Props to Kevin Minto for putting that together earlier this year. We finally got an updated one out there, so it's definitely a fun little intro. So, all right, we're so excited to have you guys here. You guys have a new book, another turtle book, coming out in 15 days, right? September 9th. There you guys see it, The True and Lucky Life of a Turtle. So first, what makes this book different from the last two turtle books?
Well, this book,
right? I'm sure that's something some people would be asking is like, this is your third turtle book in a couple years. What's different about this one?
It's a turtle trifecta. It's the Book of Turtles was, introducing people to the world of turtles and amazing turtle facts and extreme turtles and conservation,
turtle celebrities. Yes.
So this one tells the story of Fire Chief, who people met of Time and Turtles. But this tells it's a picture book, and it tells his story from when he hatches as an egg to finding his pond, to the day he got hit by a car, to present.
So
that's awesome.
Time and Turtles was a narrative nonfiction book for adult readers, and Fire Chief was certainly the turtle hero of that book. And after that book became a national bestseller, we figured that Fire Chief deserved a book of his own, just about him. And the cool thing is that when we were caring for him, we always dreamed of releasing him, back into his original pond. And so Matt and I drove down to where he'd originally been rescued after his car accident. And his car accident left him paralyzed for many months. And we worked with him doing physical therapy for a couple of years. He even had his own wheelchair at one point. But we always hoped that he'd rule his pond again. And so Matt and I went down and saw where he lived. And to our horror, we saw he was going to have to cross a state highway every spring and fall to go from his summer pond to his winter pond. But we were also able to discover where the eggs that he and his siblings had come from had hatched. We were able to see his whole life on that visit.
Yeah.
And, interesting.
Yeah. So we had our research to write his story in paintings by Matt and language that anyone could understand. Children could understand it. Adults could understand it. It's really an art book. A lot of people think, a picture book is only for little people, but this is really an art book, and it's got such a
interesting.
Yeah.
So you kind of have the adult book, you kind of have the kids book, and now you have kind of an art book, right? It's got an understandable kids story that kids can understand, but the art is probably more depicting for adults and just showing that story in picture. That's really cool.
People who like turtles will like this, but the art is realistic, detailed. So it's funny too, because people are always saying that I gave him a smile because he looks like he's smiling, right? But that's what they look like.
They really, I know.
That's one of the things my wife likes about the big barber's maps. When those females have their heads shut, the way their beak is shaped, right? It looks like they have like a smile, and so they come up and they poke their head out, and it almost has that grin to it, and it really helps personalize them, which is fun.
And
for sure,
they need that. Because people are so afraid of snappers.
Yeah.
And we want to de-demonize these creatures. I mean, sure, they're prehistoric. They're cool, like dinosaurs. They arose, as you know, with the dinosaurs at the same time, but they're with us still. But they're not these monsters that are going to, eat your pets and your children. He is a great guy. He's totally sweet and calm, and patient, and smart.
Yeah.
He's a gentleman.
I'd like to jump
in some ways,
do you mind,
I think common snappers. Oh, Anthony?
Sorry, yeah, I just wanted to jump in with something. So we're talking with Cy Montgomery and Matt Patterson, renowned award-winning author and illustrator, respectively. And I was at the Turtle Rescue League's annual Turtle Summit several months back. And your book was I think a lot of went into that book was experiences that you took from your partnership with the Turtle Rescue League and with the work that you had done with Fire Chief. And most of the animals that all the people at this Turtle Summit were rehabbing were snapping turtles above everything else. And I also want to say that I saw, and I had this thought, I've had this thought in my mind since I was there, and I couldn't wait to tell you guys that there were several people that attended that event to help support that some of them aren't even rehabbers, that literally told me they read your book and wanted to get involved and wanted to try to help. Oh. So it was amazing. And and then there's these people, these amazing heroes that do all of this thankless work, right? The folks from the Turtle Rescue League, and they're signing your book, which I thought, this is weird. We're like, well, they're the characters in the book, and it's talking about their hard work. So I want to just take a second for everyone who's watching to just remember, right, that there are so many ways that we can impact the environment in a positive way. And you guys are showing that you can use your talents in a very unique way, a way that's unique to you, to really make a difference for these animals. And the next person who ends up being like the next Peter Pritchard can be someone who reads one of your books because of the work that you're doing. So I just want to call that out and say thank you on behalf of all of us, and also make that connection to the conversation about the snapping turtles.
Yeah. Wow. That's so great.
It's true, though. It's amazing.
You mentioned how like snapping turtles kind of need that PR because they are so feared, and I was thinking in some ways they need it even more than the alligator snappers do. People see the alligator snappers and they still see them as ferocious, but I feel like they have a more unique look to them that also inspires more awe, whereas a lot of people view a common snapper more as a pest than anything else, and they're not. They aren't doing the things people think they are, right? Not like
everyone thinks that you always hear people say that they're going to get bit or attacked when they're swimming, and you're not. You're just not. Snapping turtles, they're afraid of you in the water. They stay away from you. If they attack people, every night in the news would be another attack because they're in every lake, they're in every pond, river.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally. We need a snapping turtle week. Call National Geographic up right now. We've got Shark Week. We need snapping turtle week.
Snapping turtle week.
We're working on it.
Yeah. So for people who don't know the story of Fire Chief, he's called Fire Chief because he lived in a pond next to a fire station, and he had lived there for probably decades until he was hit by a car and paralyzed his back legs and his tail. And Turtle Rescue League got him, patched him up, and when me and Cy met him, it had been 2 years since he had been hit. So he was healed, but we got to do physical therapy because his legs weren't working well. He wasn't using them much, and his tail. And so that's kind of the backstory.
Yeah, he was in a hospital tank, so he was weightless. He wasn't, exercising and the tank, he's a big guy. We were told when we met him, he was 42 pounds.
Yeah.
So
he's a big turtle.
Even though it was a big tank, if for a tank you have in your basement where, Rescue League is, they've got at any one time between 150 and 1,000 turtles in the basement. And a lot of your listeners are going to think that sounds like heaven. But there, he didn't have enough space to really exercise. And in the water, he wasn't putting weight on. So that was our job. We did a lot of other things at Turtle Rescue League. They let us participate in releases, and there were a lot of patients that were getting stuff done to them, incubating eggs, all kinds of things. But when things kind of calmed down, our main thing that we did there was be physical therapists for a 42-pound wild snapping turtle.
Yeah, he's a very unique turtle too. He's friendly. He's gentle. He's never snapped at us.
Yeah, and we knew
him
this
in the neck, yeah.
From the very first time we met him. Well, maybe not the first time. The first time we met him.
Yeah, not the first time.
No, the first time Natasha opened up the lid of the tank and threw in this banana, and out came a head that I thought was as big as my thigh. It was like a crocodile. and it murdered that banana. And I thought, oh my God, what a scary critter he is. But the first time we took him out, when Matt lifted him out of the tank, and Matt is used to handling big snappers, we took him out and we walked around with him outside. And that very first time, there was a point at which Matt and I both knew, without saying a word to each other, that we could pet him. We could stroke his head, and we knew we'd be okay. And he didn't try to bite us. He didn't gape. He didn't hiss. He was fine. And to this day, he lets us touch him, carry him around, feed him by hand.
Yeah. My wife is always saying, though, feed him with your left hand, because I paint with my right hand.
Yeah. Just in case. Yeah.
We see a lot of these snappers online, but those are ones that are raised in captivity, so you expect it more.
Yeah.
Fire Chief was not raised in captivity. He was injured as an adult, right? So totally different situation.
The firefighters saw that this had happened to their friend. They knew the turtle. They'd seen him. But even the firefighters who run into burning buildings to save you, risk their lives all the time, they didn't want to be picking up any snapping turtle. So out came the Turtle Rescue League ladies, 2 skinny ladies, one of whom is blind, as you know. Natasha's actually blind, and they actually rescued him.
It's amazing. Now, we did a turtle video, a snapping turtle video that just came out yesterday. So this is all fresh on my mind. But a lot of people don't realize common snapping turtles, the majority of their diet is actually plant based. So they get this reputation as killers of ducks and fish and everything else that we want in our ponds, and that's where the whole nuisance thing comes from.
Yeah, you hear that a lot, like ducklings getting, and it's more likely a fox or a mink or some other predator.
Yeah, and a snapping turtle will, if the opportunity provides itself, but they're not out on the hunt to clear all the ducks out of the pond, right?
They're more like vultures of ponds, so we need them.
Right, exactly. Yeah, that's a great way to describe it. They're the vulture of the pond.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, and they're common, but they're amazing turtles. Keep common species common.
Yeah,
well said, brother.
When they cross, it's such an amazing thing to see them. I mean, here's this huge dinosaurian thing that dates back to the time of the dinosaurs, and right here among us. And many people do want to help. They want to stop. They want to cross the turtle, but they don't know how to handle a snapping turtle. But it's, as you know, very easy to do. Guarantee you won't get bitten if you do it the right way.
Mm-hmm. This book was fun.
Just to remind everybody out there, the right way is not picking it up by its tail. Just throwing it out there again.
Oh my God! Thank you. Yeah.
Right. It happens, and we're just reminding everybody that isn't the safest way for you or the turtle.
No.
So we said it.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, this book was a lot of fun though to illustrate, because I see Fire Chief every day. I know him really well, and I love painting all those wrinkles and scales and osteoderms. So it was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun making this book.
Yeah,
we're excited to share this. It's a good story to for people to hear and learn.
Yeah, you captured his personality, I think, in all of your paintings. And that's one of the things that the reviewers were all saying. And that really warmed my heart. Because, even more than a photograph, I think a painting can show, and this is not to diss photographs, but a painting can show something deeper. And you've said this before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a painting, you take a photograph, you get a snapshot of that moment. You may see certain lighting or things that don't come out in the photo, but if you do an illustration, you can take all that experience and combine it and put it into the painting.
Totally.
So that leads,
really resonated. Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, that leads me to a question I had for you. If you don't mind, what was your favorite illustration that you did for this book? Like, which one was the one that you were just like, this is my piece de resistance for Fire Chief?
I like this one.
Yeah.
I was just gonna. That's what I
Oh, also though, I really had fun doing this one. This is, can you see it? Yeah, this is when they're hatching. So all these little snapping turtles. It's fun painting these. Lots of texture, lots of detail.
And we have handled a lot of baby snapping turtles. Well, you particularly, because you've been doing this for so long. But in the research for this book, as part of protecting a nesting grounds and also working at TRL, where there's eggs that you can harvest even from the slain mothers. You know, even if you're dead, they can help you. And we incubate those and let them go. It's just so wonderful to hold these little lives who are so strong and brave from the minute they get out of their egg. You just can't believe they're courageous, and they have this knowledge that's been handed down for millions, hundreds of millions of years that they seem to be born with. And they need it because look at what they have to do. I mean, so many people, I know your listeners appreciate this, but so many other people don't realize how lucky is the turtle who manages to hatch and not get eaten by predators when they're an egg. And how lucky is the turtle that even makes it from his nesting ground to a pond, where then he's facing all these other predators who can swallow him whole. We would be releasing baby turtles in our palm at wetlands, and we'd have frogs jumping into our hands trying to eat the baby turtles as we were.
Yeah, frogs are definitely a big baby turtle predator, probably more than most people realize. The bullfrog especially, like they'll just swallow them whole. It's crazy.
Yeah, get it in their mouth, they'll eat it.
I know, and fish will eat them, and birds will, and chipmunks will hold them like little hamburgers and gnaw their heads off. Oh, it's so horrible. I know. So when you meet someone like Fire Chief, who's that big and has lived so many decades, he is one lucky turtle. And every adult turtle you see is really a miracle. And I hope one of the things people get out of this book is just to be absolutely gobsmacked when you see one of these creatures, when you realize all the luck and all the genetic knowledge, all the eons of evolution that goes into having this creature be among us. It really is a miracle.
I love that. Now, Matt, you were talking about having fun with the work that you did. And I remember, I mean, okay, I'm ADHD. When I do things, it has to be fun. But that resonates with me a lot. Like, you obviously are a turtle person. We saw you, Steve and I saw you at the TSA. Do you have more fun with your turtle books than you do your non-turtle books?
Yeah. I love painting. I loved illustrating all three of our turtle books we did. Time and Turtles only has 2 color illustrations, but it has some pen and inks. And the Book of Turtles was a lot of fun. But this one especially because of what it's, who it's about, Fire Chief, turtle that we know so well, spend so much time with, and it's a snapping turtle. I love snapping turtles, so I had a lot of fun. Yeah.
I tell my daughters, my daughters are 8 and 11. I tell them all the time. I went to art school in a former life and have an undergraduate degree in fine arts, and they're so concerned with the final product. They want to finish it and write their name on it and give it away or save it or whatever. It has to be perfect, especially my 11-year-old who's a perfectionist. And I just say all the time, like, it's about the process. Like, if you have fun getting to whatever finished is, then it's going to come out a lot better than if you're worried about what the final product is. Just have fun. And when you have fun, then it comes out better. Do you feel that way too, Matt, that it's easier to get to something that you're going to enjoy the final product if you just have fun along the way?
Yeah, definitely. And this is doing a book is a long process. I mean, it takes years for it to finally come out. So, you got to, slow and steady.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
You've mentioned a couple things, a few words, a couple times as you're talking about your illustrations, and maybe that's why you love you love painting turtles, you often talk about texture and details. And turtles provide so many different textures. They've got the leg textures that are kind of like lizard or snake like, with all of those, scales and the details. And then the shells provide a different set of textures. And then the face, the face and head scales are different than the ones on the legs and the arms, almost no matter which turtle species you're talking about. And so it sounds like that love of texture might partly drive your love of painting turtles.
Well, and there's a lot of different colors and patterns, but I've always loved turtles, as you guys turtle people know. I kind of was born liking turtles, and I grew up painting them, and I still have some of those paintings. We when we do our presentation, I show some of them. I have some really early, like first grade, on painting. So yeah, I grew up just painting turtles, and I just loved it my whole life. And it's not easy being a turtle artist, isn't it? Not many of us out there.
I think another thing too, just an art piece too, that I think people don't realize, because I've seen your paintings from when you were younger. They're great, but you were still a kid, drawing, painting, what have you. You work so hard to master. Obviously, writing is something. I mean, I've written a few books myself, nothing like Cy has, but like having a little bit of experience in the art world in a former life, and having written a few books myself, like the amount of dedication you guys have to the work that you do to create this incredible level of work that you do is pretty astounding. It really is the product of a life dedicated to this.
Well, you have a life dedicated to animals and writing. You've had a pretty exciting life.
I know. Gosh, I mean,
yeah.
It is so much fun working with Matt. And, we did the research that went into the Book of Turtles on time and turtles and the true and lucky life of a turtle. We lived that research during the pandemic. And most people remember the pandemic as this horrible time in which everything was falling apart. I mean, not only were people dying from this strange contagion that nobody could understand, but also the world was on fire, environmental disaster. There was so much strife politically in our country. But I remember that time as some of the happiest times of my life. And this is not to say, wasn't it great? People were keeling over with this awful disease. Not at all. I mean, I lost friends to that disease. But it was wonderful to be with Matt, to be with Alexia, Natasha, and Michaela, to be with our friends at the Turtle Survival Alliance, to be out on the beach in Cape Cod rescuing sea turtles, and to be taking a hand in putting the world back together at a time when the world felt broken. And I think that even though, just like Fire Chief had this horrible accident, but the book, all three of the books really are about resilience, and they're about joy, and they're about what turtles teach us. They're such valuable teachers, and how much fun we have when we're around them.
That's so great. So well said.
Yeah. So, we do our wood turtle field work, and we've seen some turtles that have been hit by farm equipment. We've seen there's another turtle that we have at the one site that looks like it might have been captured by somebody when it was a couple years old, and then raised in captivity before, and then released again based on its growth patterns and stuff. And like I had actually thought before, it'd be fun to even create a fiction book, taking some of these characteristics that we see in some of these wild turtles and then making up a story to go along with them. You've kind of taken as much of a true story as you can from elements of Fire Chief's life. And so it had me, combining what you've done with this idea that I've thought about before. Do you see there potentially being a true and lucky life of a turtle too, where you find another turtle and you tell its story in a similar fashion, maybe a different species or with different hardships that turtles might experience, different from, say, Fire Chief, that might tell just another story?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? But you know what? It sounds like you've got a book to write there. I think you should do the true and lucky life of a wood turtle.
Oh.
Yeah, wood turtles are they're my favorite species.
They're fascinating creatures.
Yeah,
fascinating.
They're so resilient too. Like we see them a lot in the wild, just missing legs. Yeah. They get along just fine.
Tell me about the turtle you found with the eye problem.
Oh yeah, I found this one wood turtle, and it was it had crawled up. I don't know how it did it. It crawled up onto a log. It was young. It was probably about 3, and I paddled up to it, and it didn't move because it couldn't see me. It had these 2 like massive eye infections, and like the eyes were just completely like plugged up, and so we ended up taking it to the vet, and they were able to flush it out, and we had to give it ointment for like 2 weeks.
Oh my God, he had to make like a special tool,
but it healed. Yeah,
so that the turtle couldn't like hide its.
But this wood turtle had that problem, and it was missing a leg. It had been bitten off by a raccoon or something, but it survived.
I know, and she was
managed to release.
A female?
It's a female.
Yeah.
Bless her heart. And there's, as you know, woodies are really smart. Those are the ones that they've done a bunch of tests with mazes and stuff and found that they learn the maze as fast as a laboratory rat.
Yeah, they're fascinating turtles in the wild. Some of them, you mentioned petting Fire Chief on the head. We have one at the one site where we've got photos of a couple of us. He'll just hang out in your hands and leave his head out there, and you can just sit there and scratch his head, and he's just like loving life like a cat or a dog almost, like just chilling with the people and just loving being loved.
Yeah, well, it's the thing about turtles. They're all different, so they all have their own personalities. It's not all turtles are the same. So that's one thing that we try to tell people.
Yeah, people don't. I mean,
they just look at them as rocks,
right?
Paperweights.
It's like a pet rock. But and I'm asked all the time, like, does that turtle know you? Well, of course he knows you, and he probably knows you in a sort of more intimate way than a lot of people know you, because they're experiencing you with other senses. I mean, they hear. They don't have any ears, but as we know, turtles can hear. They can hear a human whisper, and they have all kinds of chemical abilities. So probably, by inhaling our breath, who knows what they know about us. But obviously Fire Chief knew, just from the very brief time that we spent with him, that very first time we picked him up, he knew something about us. He knew he could trust us. And it knocked me out, his trust in us, his gentleness.
I think my turtles definitely know my breath. I'm
Yeah.
sorry to make fun of myself.
No, I mean,
Can I ask a serious and question? This is a question for Cy. Cy, have you ever been concerned that Matt is always dressed, even in professional settings, like he's going to do something epic, like action movie style, or not?
He's always about to do something epic.
I hate sleeves and shoes.
You wear caps and sleeves at this level, son. That's what. So last podcast, like 3 weeks ago now, we had a fast turnaround because of the holiday next week. Hope everyone has a good 3-day weekend next week. But we had Justin, our new board member, on, and he's lovely. He's absolutely amazing and so funny. And we were all together at TSA with Matt. And Justin said that. He said, Matt is always dressed like he's going to do something epic. And I'm like, yeah, he totally looks like he's, trying to get his Rambo on.
If you're a turtle artist, you don't have to dress up.
That's
you
right.
can dress like this.
Well, I think I actually wrote in Of Time and Turtles that, Matt usually has got flip-flops on so he can kick them off and go into a pond and find a turtle.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of shoes. I hold out in the winter until I really have to put them on.
Oh, I see your footprints, your naked footprints in the snow outside your house.
Speaking of naked footprints, do you wear underwear, Matt? This is my question. I'm just wondering.
Naked footprints.
He doesn't follow any rules. I just wonder, like, no shoes. And the funny thing too is, like, this is
no underwear.
It's kind of like a Florida look, right? But you're up north in the cold, and you're still, usually wearing shorts, flip flops.
We're shorts. It's warm right now. We're pretty warm up here.
Yeah, by your definition, it's getting colder. Be honest.
It is getting a little cooler.
Hey, we're heading south tomorrow. We're going to Jersey.
That's true. South Jersey, which I lovingly refer to as North Florida. It is warm and sandy soil over there at Garden State. Yeah, you guys are gonna have
Terrapins.
Yeah.
Yep, for sure.
I cannot wait to meet these celebrities. We are so excited. Oh my gosh. I mean, after following Otis and Rockalina's stories for so long, to meet them in person is going to be incredible.
It'll be cool. And, Otis always lives up to the hype. Rockalina, I mean, it's a nice story, of course, but Otis, talking about animal, intellect and interacting and then like, the anthropomorphizing versus, just observing the amazing behaviors and everything. Otis is at the top of the list, honestly.
He's a really unique turtle. Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, Emily.
Right?
Hi, guys.
Sorry. Emily's here, everybody. Emily, how dare you? How could you be late? Why were you late? You better have a good excuse.
I do have a good excuse. I don't want to completely derail the conversation here because I was listening as I was driving in, and the last thing that I heard was Anthony asking you, Matt, if you wear underwear. So
I had to know.
It was a good time for me to cut in and just let everyone know. I'm sorry I was running behind just because of work. We had to get an alligator, and it just ended up being a whole rigmarole. So I apologize.
You had to get an alligator?
Yeah. She's ours at our zoo, and she was at another zoo. They were babysitting her for us for a short time, and we went and picked her up today. And it just ended up, we had so many delays, so I apologize.
Oh, how was she? We want to hear about the alligator.
Oh, no, not as exciting as what's been going on here. She was not happy to see us, and we packaged her up, put her in the van. She expressed her displeasure for what was going on the whole time. And then we got back, we put her in her pond, and she went right into her pond. And I think she gave me the finger as we put her in.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks for saving this, Emily. See what happens when you're not here? I'm asking.
Right off the rails.
Listen, Matt and I have been friends for a long time, and I had to ask him because he doesn't follow the rules in terms of dress code. No, everybody knows that.
That's okay, all right. This is the turtle room, so we'll bring it back to turtles. How's that?
My next redirect was actually going to be I think with your last book we read a short excerpt on your air. Would you want to do the same thing again, Sai?
Oh yeah,
do it.
We'd love to. We would love to. Should we start from the beginning?
I really love storytelling.
Yeah.
All right.
You know what? Why don't you do that, and I will hold up the picture.
Yes, excellent. That's perfect.
Oh, that's awesome.
All right, hang on.
Okay. This is Fire Chief, a 42-pound common snapping turtle who is strong and brave. He's as old as your grandparents and could still be the ruler of his pond when you're a grandparent too. But when Fire Chief was born, he was almost as small as a quarter. So small that even a fish could swallow him. As a baby, he had to spend most of his time hiding. Fire Chief has been lucky, though, and has had help from human friends during his many adventures. Without their help, we couldn't tell his incredible story.
To this page?
It all began one rainy spring evening about 60 years ago. A scaly, shelled visitor hauled herself up a sandy New England hill. She had left her pond and walked for many hours to reach this south-facing slope. Here, under the cover of twilight, she dug a hole with her strong back legs and laid more than a dozen precious eggs the size of ping-pong balls. She carefully covered them back up with sand and then left to return to her pond. The warm summer sun would do the rest. 3 months later, the smooth sand exploded with life. The baby snapping turtles were hatching. They didn't know how lucky they already were, for many nests get destroyed. Skunks and raccoons dig up the eggs to eat them. Drought can dry them out. Ants and flies invade the nest. People and dogs sometimes disturb the eggs too. Though lucky, these babies still had a difficult journey ahead. They had to find a pond, and each baby turtle had to face many dangers while getting there. Hungry foxes and coyotes might find them. Birds like crows could swoop in for a turtle feast. Snakes might swallow them whole. Even a chipmunk will eat a little turtle. I'm happy to keep going. Brave baby fire chief walked down the hill and crossed a country road. On tiny clawed feet smaller than pencil erasers, he plodded through fields. He passed a house and walked through a yard. A quarter mile away, he found a small pond shaped like a heart. It was the water supply for a brand new fire station, and it was perfect.
So good.
That was
Thank you.
amazing. Thank
Well,
you.
it keeps going, and
Keeps
the
going.
drama is ahead. And writing children's books, this is going to be my 39th book, and oh gosh, a bunch of them are for adults, but the majority are for kids. These days, yeah, they are actually. There's a list of them, and the kids ones go like a page and a half. It's a lot of them, but these days, adults are very worried about exposing children to anything bad that might happen. And we were careful in we never show quite how bloody and awful the injury was to Fire Chief. We don't actually say the words that he was hit by a car. We show it in artwork. Yeah. But I was really grateful that our editor didn't try to, soft pedal this, because this is what turtles face all over the world practically. I mean, roads are such a scourge. And roads are the only thing that's going to really kill an adult snapping turtle, because they're so big, there's not much else that's going to hurt them. And this is the crucial moment.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oops, sorry, I'm whacking.
No, whacking.
One thing that we did in this book too, we try to always, if you look at the art, it's always kind of from his eye level, his point of view.
Yeah.
So you're kind of
Really
seeing it through a turtle's perspective. So that's why you see a lot of feet, at the rehab, and hands, but you don't see the whole people. Yeah.
That's cool. That's awesome.
Something that's really cool, Matt, with that piece that you just showed is that it's a darker subject over a lighter road. So the light source is like from above or whatever outside, but it's a unique looking illustration for you that I think takes it in a different direction. It's really cool to see.
Yeah, and painting cars. I'm not used to painting cars, but
right. I
kind of liked it.
Yeah, there's all kinds of like little secret tells in the book too that are special.
There's a lot of
dogs are in there.
A lot of my animals are in
secretly. Yeah, there's a dog riding in one of the cars, and then there's a dog sitting by
some friends in the background that I used as reference. So
that's right. That's right. And the trans colors are on the fingernails, which is a nod to our trans friends.
It was, although I did that
by accident. I know it was subliminal, but it's so fun to know all of those things. His wife is depicted in there, although she's standing in for she's standing in for Alexia, and other friends are posed as firemen, and it's very fun.
Yeah.
I actually saw in the comments that we have some people who are fans of your artwork, Matt. Is there a piece in the book that you're the most proud of out of all of the illustrations that you did?
We actually did that in the beginning. It is the very opening scene.
Oh, okay.
The portrait. This one.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
The smile.
That's a really beautiful one.
Yeah, thanks.
Oh, tell about the art where it's going to be hanging.
Oh, yeah, that is going to go into, it's called the original, is it called Original Art? It's the Society of Illustrators in New York City. So it just got into the show.
Yeah, we just learned today. It was accepted in the show.
Oh.
Which is huge.
Wow.
Yeah. And I'll be submitting it for a another museum show, and there's a lot of portraits, figurative work, but not turtle portraits.
Yeah, I know.
It's gonna be a little
gosh,
different.
I know.
We'll see what happens.
It's all the art I really want to see. I mean, when
Yeah.
I go to an art museum, I went to the Louvre. Howard was sick of me, and he's looking at all these paintings of like people in flowing gowns and stuff. And I found a painting that had a capybara in it, and I was transfixed.
Yeah.
We have a great viewer question here as we're talking about the artwork. I'm gonna do a full show up here from Austin. So he's like, it's always cool. You've talked about how you do the background last a lot of times. And so he's asking, when you conceptualize, does that photo just hang out there, or does it change as you're doing the artwork?
It hangs out there. It doesn't really change. When I start painting, I pretty much know. I've already done a sketch, drawings, so I know what I want it to be. I know the whole layout, the whole composition.
Yeah, and for books, you kind of have to give the sketches ahead of time to be approved for the layout.
Yeah, you have to give the sketches ahead of time, and it goes through a round of revisions, and it's pretty set at that point.
Yep.
But yeah, I always paint the background last. I bit backwards, but
I feel like you bring the animal to life and you put his eyes in there, so he's like watching the process.
You say that. That's not why I do it.
But I like to think of him kind of watching you. As you do this.
A little odd, huh?
I guess I could ask the same question to you, Sai. When you start a book and you have an idea in your head, and then once you are in the midst of it, does it morph a little bit as you're working on it, or do you always kind of go from point A to point B? How you?
No, it totally morphs. It totally morphs. I don't begin to actually write it until I have all the data. So, and there's a good reason for this. I was trained as a journalist. And as a journalist, you don't want to go into reporting on something already having made your mind up. You go in with beginner's mind. You go in expecting to be surprised, expecting to find out stuff that you could not have really guessed. I mean, you might have a hypothesis. Is this true or is this true? But you've got to always be ready to see your hypothesis disproved, or be ready that your hypothesis just was garbage. Just let the world surprise you. So happily, I don't think this is true for a lot of nonfiction writers at this point, but happily, because I've been doing this for so long, I don't have to submit a very detailed proposal compared to what a lot of other writers have to do, because they trust me after 39 books. I'm not going to screw it up too bad. But a lot of nonfiction writers have to do this whole outline before they even do their research, saying what they're going to find out. Well, that's ridiculous. That is insane, but it's like a selling tool. I'm really glad that I work with editors that don't make me do that.
Yeah.
Well said.
It's interesting to hear about that process. I would have had no idea that things were that tightly buckled up for many authors these days. So I guess just another sign of the times, huh?
And when we were doing, Time and Turtles, we didn't know who the main turtle characters would be.
We had no idea.
We had no idea going in.
Yeah.
In fact,
didn't know about Fire Chief. We didn't know.
We didn't even know that we were going to focus on TRL for sure, because we went to a couple of different turtle rescues, and we picked Turtle Rescue League because there were so many turtle characters. We figured one will show up, or a handful will show up as being the most important ones. So every time we met any turtle, that you could be meeting the star of your whole book, and you just gathered everything you could about that scene and that turtle and that quote, and then you cherry pick the very best from that.
Yeah, Sai's always taking notes. She's just.
I know, it's awful.
No. You write everything down.
Oh, it must be so irritating.
No, I just you wrote down that whole scene at the when I got all the box turtles.
Oh yeah, that was hilarious. Scrambling. Oh my gosh, That was really funny.
Yeah, we went to it's a turtle rescue, and and there were 3 toad box turtles, and I was supposed to talk to Erin, my wife, into 1, maybe 2
to adopt.
Yeah, and when we got there, I ended up taking 6, and we all just totally bullied her into accepting it, and Cy was just scribbling all the whole scene down as it was happening.
And then they get home and they let the turtles into their outdoor pen, and immediately one starts laying eggs.
Yeah, instantly, within an hour.
Oh wow!
Erin's calling me up and saying, "Cy, this is a nightmare." I said, 1 turtle. I have 6 and it's laying eggs.
Stop it before they spread. I think that's great.
Yeah. Well, she always gets a pair of shoes out of the deal, so
she's going to be Imelda Marcos before we're done here.
I heard you mention that before. Did she get 6 pairs?
Got 1. Yeah, 1. It was because of 1 visit, so she got 1 pair.
Right.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a fair shoe to turtle ratio, but
yeah. I don't.
Sorry, Steve. Go ahead.
That's okay. So, Cy, you've written about a lot of different animals at this point, right? You've got your chicken book. I think there was something on pigs, right? Hummingbirds. Your octopus stuff is renowned. Other than the turtle one, which has been your other favorite animal so far that you've spent time researching and writing about?
Well, I loved the octopus experience, which was years of work. And that was the big book I did before on Time and Turtles, which, like of Time and Turtles, examined one of the 2 hard questions in philosophy, which was consciousness, and Time and Turtles examined the other question, which is time. But before that, the Christopher Hogwood book, the book about our pig who lived for 14 years, he grew to 750 pounds. It's kind of a memoir of living with this great guy. Before that book, which was my first bestseller, I did a book that I just loved researching, and that was called Journey of the Pink Dolphins. And that, I think, was as much fun as anything I've ever done. I had to make 4 trips to the Amazon. Some were 2 months long. I got to swim with pink river dolphins. At the end, there were 7 of them who I would just go to this remote place with a boat guy. It wasn't any kind of a swim with dolphin program at all. I'd swim out about a quarter mile into the Tapajos River and just wait there treading water, and 7 dolphins would come all around me. It was amazing. It was just great. And all of the journeys that led up to this were amazing. I'd always wanted to go to the Amazon, this rich, beautiful, huge place, which is the lungs of the world. And I traveled on 3 of the 4 trips with my dear friend, who's no longer with us, alas, Diane Taylor Snow, who I met in Borneo when I was researching a book on apes. And we'd also worked together on a book on tigers. But I loved the Amazon. And by the way, while in the Amazon, I slept with a Podocnemus under my bed at one of the lodges. We actually we got him from a fisherman who was going to eat him, and we recognized that this is an endangered animal, and he wasn't selling it as a poacher. He was going to eat him, so I think we gave him like a chicken so he could eat that, and we let the Podocnemus go. It was Podocnemus expansa.
Wow,
that's awesome. Awesome. So was your first turtle book your first time collaborating with Matt?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this came about in such a great way. I mean, we were destined to meet, I think.
Yeah, we met about
7 years ago?
Oh no, it's 8.
Oh gosh, 9. That's the thing. Time keeps going forward. And
goes forward, not back. Yeah. Yeah. So we met about 8 years ago. But I had emailed Cy after I read Soul of an Octopus, and she emailed me back. And we live a few towns over, so we live near each other, and we had friends in common, and animal people. And then we finally met at an art festival, and then we started doing turtle things together.
Oh, so much fun! Oh my God! And eventually, it got so that
we would go kayaking. She fell out of the kayak in like early April.
You put up with me. Oh, God, I'm such a spaz. But we had such a wonderful time, and he obviously is like a turtle savant. So I actually at about this time, because I'd finished the octopus book, and I had a number of other smaller projects that I had done. But I was kind of incubating what's my next big book going to be. And so I started thinking about turtles. The other book I had in mind was a book that, as it turned out with the pandemic, I never could have done. And in fact, friends of mine who were psychic tell me I would have gotten killed if I did it. And that would have involved embedding in a all African anti-poaching, all women anti-poaching network, which, I mean, I think that would not have been a lot of fun. I think it would have been a lot of adventure, and it would have been a lot of excitement, but we had fun. We had fun every single day. And even when we were facing tragedies, when we were going in, and turtles had horrible injuries, and some of some of the patients, despite the best care, they pass away. And here's this life that should have gone on for decades and decades, and because of someone's lawnmower or truck or dog, this turtle is dying despite everyone's efforts. At the end of every day, I always felt full of hope and full of joy, really. Just being with these animals and being with you, Matt, because you're a cheerful sort.
Cheerful, yeah. It was fun.
He is a cheerful sort. One of my favorite people to see every year at the conference, for sure.
Yeah. And now we're doing a book on caterpillars, like we mentioned.
I was just gonna cue that up for or tee that up for you guys, for our viewers. I was gonna say, Cy, what's next, and does it also include Matt?
Oh yeah.
We're doing a whole book of the book of turtles, and this is the book of caterpillars. So I'm still painting. I haven't even started the paintings. I've just finished all the sketches, so it's still a long ways to go, but it's going to be fun.
And it's endless. I mean,
the world of caterpillars is crazy. It's huge, and the ones out there will just blow your mind. Some of the stuff they can do.
Yeah, people don't realize that these soft, small babies really have amazing powers. I mean, the same way turtles have powers that just knock your socks off. I mean,
and they fuel the world too. Everything eats them.
That's right. That's right. There'd be no bird song if it wasn't for caterpillars, because songbirds eat caterpillars more than any other thing.
There's a caterpillar that just discovered, and it hunts snails, and it spins a silk web to hold them down, and he eats the snail alive, and then he decorates his body with the shells. So he wears them around.
It's just wild.
Yeah.
He's like,
there's caterpillars that spew acid out of their heads.
Yeah, there's one called the bone collector, and he lives in the nest spider webs, so he can get the spider's prey, and he decorates himself with pieces of other insects, so he looks like a dead insect.
He walks around.
They sound like serial killers keeping like mementos of their kills.
Yeah,
I know. Like the skull caves that you visit.
Yeah, it's wild. And there's ones that make like noises like birds to scare off predators, and it's just really jumping into this has been pretty wild.
It really is. Well, it just shows you, how once you go down that rabbit hole in nature, you're just going to be awestruck at every turn.
Yeah, that's incredible. In some ways, it sounds like the life of a caterpillar may take just as much luck to adulthood as the life of a turtle.
Yeah, definitely. Everything's eating them,
And everyone loves butterflies, and many people they like moths, like the Luna moth. That's where we pay attention to them. But these creatures spend most of their lives as a larvae or a larva. and no one pays attention to these little babies. But they are astonishing, and they're great to paint. I mean, some of these guys look like they can look like a snake with a big face and giant eyes. Some of them can like suddenly inflate a tail that wasn't there before. Others can like, they have these antennae things that they can sprout and wave around, and they can strike you with them. And they have all kinds of amazing talents. And the way that vegetables taste the way they do because of caterpillars, because caterpillars have had this ongoing fight with plants, and together they've come up with, that's why tomatoes taste the way they do. That's why cabbage tastes the way it does. That's why broccoli tastes the way it does, because of caterpillars. So the ancestor plant did not taste like that. Anyway, we could go on and on. But
sounds like there's a lot to learn from the upcoming book of caterpillars.
Yes.
ETA 2027, 8.
Maybe. Yeah, I got two other books coming out next year. One's on giant manta rays. I did a dive expedition with Michelle Guerrera, who discovered the largest aggregation of manta rays, giant manta rays. These are the giant oceanic manta rays who weigh like over 1,000 pounds. And the largest aggregation of them in the world is off this one island in Ecuador. And I went there with him and a team of scientists. And there's a book coming out on that expedition. And then also I've got a thing.
What's the title?
Well, we might change it. So that's the other thing. People don't realize that sometimes your book titles get changed. And Of Time and Turtles was not originally called Of Time and Turtles.
Travels in Turtle Time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they changed it. And were we at TSA when we found out that we were somewhere.
No, it couldn't have been then. Yeah.
We were somewhere else. Anyway, I just, you live with this title for years, and then all of a sudden it's a different title. And what? And they can't title it, like Matt's not wearing any underwear. They can't. They can't.
These vicious rumors now spreading.
But something that's pretty much mutually agreed upon. But they didn't like Of Time and Turtles because they did not like that alliteration. They thought it sounded like a children's book because of something
Travels
called
in Turtle Time.
Yeah, because of something's called tummy time. And I don't know if any of you have human babies. I mean, we chose not to have them.
Yeah, but, I remember tummy time.
Yeah.
If you have human babies, they're supposed to have something called tummy time. We didn't know about this. And I think the focus group that was talking about our book when it was called Of Time...
Travels in Turtle... Wait, yeah, Travels in Turtle
Travels
Time.
in Turtle Time. I think they were baby having people.
Yeah, they were baby having people.
Human keepers. Yeah.
Human keepers, yeah. What Sai calls them babies, like helpless sacks of need.
You compare a little human to a baby turtle. A turtle comes out of his shell and he's ready to take on the world. He is running through that gauntlet of predators. He's finding a place to hide. He's finding what to eat. No one's there to help him. And then you look at a human and it's like not doing anything. It's lying there. And so you've got to admire the reptiles.
Yeah, it's true. It's a good point. That's a good thing, or a good reason to love reptiles. Yeah.
As if we needed more, right?
I like that your theme is kind of to steer towards the animals that are maybe not necessarily uncharismatic, because obviously we love the strange things, right? So for us, they are charismatic, but the ones that are maybe not as easy to digest, to love for the general public, right? I love that you choose to teach people about them a lot more. And I hope that that's something you continue to do, because that is just, the world needs it.
Boy, you bet.
And some of the Book of Turtles are something that everyone can recognize a turtle. But turtles are full of surprises, and they're amazing animals. And so it's taking like caterpillars too. It's taking something that everyone knows what it is, but they don't really know them.
Yeah.
And they don't know how important they are, and how, all the wild stuff they do. And so kind of introducing them to something that's recognizable, but showing them.
That's right. And I think people love to be surprised by the familiar. Here is something that we may have thought of as ordinary when we see, a little turtle in a plastic bowl or something. And we don't realize that some of these turtles are incredible athletes, that some of them
can climb.
Yeah, can climb trees. And some even will climb trees and cross the river through the branches rather than swim across. That turtles can talk, that some begin talking to their siblings when they're still in the egg. That turtles are smart, that turtles remember stuff. They learn things quickly.
And that the spiny softshell can sprint 15 miles per hour on land, which is crazy. That's faster than the average 10-year-old doing the 100-meter dash.
That's right. They think they're these slow, dumb animals. I mean, cute. People generally like turtles, but they're not awestruck by turtles. Well, you are, and your listeners are, but we want everyone to be awestruck by turtles and to be seized with turtle fever and the desire to protect them because they need it, as you know, more than any other taxon.
Yeah, there's a book on zoology that I bring up all the time in my educational turtle talks, kind of like the broad turtle talk that I do. And, that book that was taught to zoology students in the 50s, 60s, and as recently as the 70s, it uses the term commonplace. Turtles are so commonplace that we often, look at them without much regard because they've existed since some of the most primitive dinosaurs, and they'll continue to exist long after man is gone. But we know that that's not the case. They're so endangered now. And a lot of that is because of us. And that's I forget how you put it, Cy, but I love that, to be astonished by the familiar, like that. What was the phrase again? I want to hear it again because I want to remember it.
Well,
do you remember?
No, well, to be surprised by the common.
Yes, surprised by, yeah. So that is a piece I think that's really prevalent with turtles. And that's why it's so important when you have someone like the two of you that are doing this amazing work that transcends, like we do a lot of turtle-based content, but it goes to the same, the same people who love turtles. Yeah. Your stuff goes, and that's what I saw when I was at that Turtle Rescue League event, that Turtle Summit. Those were people who they always loved turtles, but they weren't such nerds that they were listening to turtle podcasts as their hobby.
Hardcore.
Yeah, right. They're not that hardcore. Yeah, but they're getting those messages because of you guys, and for that reason, I just, on behalf of this entire community, I can't thank you enough for the work that you do and the impact that you make.
I will right back at you. I mean, I think the Pondcast is magnificent, and we are so thrilled to be on with you.
Thank you.
Yeah. We've been doing a lot of school talks, which are always fun. Kids get so excited, and there was one talk we did, and every new slide of a new turtle, they just erupted in applause.
And there's some lines that kids like automatically. They often do drawings and stuff for us afterwards, and they mail them to us. And the thing that impresses them the most is the turtle that can pee out of its mouth.
We get drawings of that sent to us.
Yeah, they demonstrate it. They demonstrate that. That's really interesting.
What species is that? I don't know about a turtle that can pee out of its mouth.
Chinese soft shell.
Which one is it?
Chinese soft shell.
Oh, Pelodiscus sinensis. I've heard of them.
Very good.
Yeah.
Boy, yes.
I didn't know that.
It's really like more efficient than using your kidneys to kind of
flush out
urea through your mouth. I mean, maybe we should try it.
Hey, I'm getting attacked by a dog here.
Oh,
man. Yeah. Check it out.
Learn something new every day. Today I learned.
I'm Googling it right now.
Yeah, and another thing is, people think they're quiet, but anyone who's seen Jurassic Park has heard a tortoise.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah, they can't believe that kids
Russian tortoises were Yeah, the basis of the velociraptor sounds. Yeah.
I can hear that.
Yeah.
No, now I have to hear it. Wait, I'm trying to think of the sound.
Yeah, when it's like kind of barking out or calling out.
The barking sound that the velociraptors make remind me of Cora galbinifrons, the flowerback turtles.
Oh.
I was just listening to that a couple weeks ago, and I'm like, that sounds so much.
Is it the vocalization they make when they're mating, or just it's a?
Yeah, it's the Russian tortoise male mating vocalization. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
That kind of wheezy, kind of,
They're loud.
Yeah, they are.
I don't know if I'm ever going to hear that the same. Thanks.
Anytime.
Yeah.
All right, Anthony, Emily, do you guys have any other excellent questions for Cy and Matt?
I just have one last comment. So Google, Pelodiscus sinensis, the Chinese softshell turtle, is known for its unique ability to urinate through its mouth. This adaptation is a result of its brackish and marine environment where drinking water to flush out urea would be toxic. Instead, the turtle submerges its head in water and uses specialized gill-like projections in its mouth to expel urea. This process allows the turtle to avoid problems associated with drinking salty water. Cy, thank you. That's listen, I don't mean to sound all
going in
sappy.
Anthony's next talk. Just say
I don't mean to, seriously, I don't mean to sound all sappy and weird, but like I've dedicated my life to turtles. I have. Everybody who's ever met me knows this. I did not know that. That is one that you're supposed to know.
I'm astonished. That's great.
Yeah,
that's great. But
I mean, that. So
that's a great testament to how turtles are endlessly surprising.
So cool.
Yeah.
I gotta remember that one. Everyone, remember, you heard it here first. Not thanks to us, but thanks to Cy.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much. I think that's we learned a lot about Matt and about these turtles that can pee out of their mouth. So yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Can I just jump in and say one thing too? I'm doing a giveaway of original little pen and ink drawing that was one of the chapter illustrations of Time and Turtles. And to enter, you just have to go on my Instagram at Stone Ridge Art Studios, but just email me a proof of purchase of a pre-order for the True and Lucky Life of a Turtle, and that's how you enter. Yeah. So you could win that drawing.
Oh,
love that!
Awesome.
There's a lot of fans of your artwork on here, so that'll definitely
definitely.
Yeah, I love the comments. It's been fun seeing the chat, and thank you to everybody who's been listening. You're making us feel very, very loved and part of your community. So thank you.
For sure.
So before we do some final thoughts, I wanted to remind everybody that you can look for Cy's and Matt's books, including their upcoming release, The True and Lucky Life of a Turtle, at their local independent bookstore, Toadstool Books. There's their link. Hop on there, pre-order a book. I think if they pre-order and write something in the comments, you guys might even sign it, right?
Yeah,
totally. We'll dedicate it. If you order from the Toadstool.
Yeah, and then you can just, when you order, just give a little message and we'll go down and sign them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's where I got your last two books. I'll be getting the next one from Toadstool Books as well. So if you guys want to go, and I don't know if they can beat Amazon's prices or if they're the same, but it doesn't matter. Go to the independent bookstore, get the autograph, and don't give Amazon the money if you can help it.
Yeah, definitely support local for sure.
Jeff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Any last thoughts, Cy and Matt, Anthony, Emily?
Thank you. I just want to say thank you and apologize again for being late.
Well, you were helping
an alligator.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us on. We had a lot of fun. I did.
Thank you so much for your work and for spreading the word and for taking care of turtles. And it's just such a privilege to briefly be part of this community with you. So thank you.
We're always a pleasure to have you. So
I'd like to add, Steve, if you don't mind, just let this again, everyone, just be a testament to the fact that you don't have to be a zoologist, a biologist. Like you can be a talented person in a different way. and still make a huge impact in the world in a way that matters to you, right? So Cy and Matt are changing the world for the better for these animals that we care so much about, and making a huge impact that transcends our community of turtle lovers, and is getting the layperson involved in the way that your favorite biologist and researcher can't do. Nothing against them, but it's just true. So in order for us to be successful, it takes all of us. So if you're there and you're wondering how you fit into all of this, just lean into your talents and, keep writing, keep drawing, keep doing what it is that you do, because there's opportunity for you to make a real difference in the world, and they're a testament to that.
Amen, brother. Amen.
That's beautiful. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. It was concise kind of for me too, right? Normally
that was really good. That was wonderful.
Yeah, that was good. Let's leave it there. I already embarrassed myself enough.
Well, at least you're wearing underwear.
The webcam,
One more
you never know.
before we roll. That's fantastic.
At least you're wearing underwear.
You're right, Matt. I think that's a pretty great place to end it.
Yeah.